We're live. Welcome to Staking Mondays, everyone. Staking Mondays is a weekly show to share specific knowledge from the staking industry leaders with our community, powered by stakingrewards.com. And at Staking Rewards, we're helping investors to navigate the landscape of yield-generating digital assets and finding the best opportunities to earn interest on your crypto. My name is Mirko, and I'm extremely excited to welcome today's guest, Brian Hoffman. Welcome on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Cool, great. Just like a icebreaker question we always ask our guests. What was the first investment you made outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum?
You know, it's funny. I invested in Bitcoin, and then I had an opportunity to get in on the early offering for Ethereum, and I passed up on it like an idiot. And then eventually did buy it. But I guess the next one that I bought, I believe was, I think it was Monero. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting coin.
Yeah, definitely. And it continues to is, I think. Cool. So like right now, you are a product manager at Kraken for crypto funding, and you are responsible coordinating the listings of new crypto assets on Kraken, and talking to all the relevant teams and so on. And you also brought like the recently launched the parachain auctions on Kraken. But your background is like from like an independent marketplace. I don't know who everyone still remembers at the OpenBazaar. So you've been the founder and CEO there. How was this journey for you? Like how did you first like get started with OpenBazaar, and then how did it happen that you are now a product manager at Kraken? And yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a weird transition, but actually before OpenBazaar, back in before 2014 when we started that project, I was like a government consultant, IT consultant doing cybersecurity work for a large corporation, and then I left that world in order to work on OpenBazaar. It was just a side project at the time, but we managed to get fundraising from Andreessen Horowitz and Union Square Ventures, which was incredible and life-changing opportunity for sure. And we built OpenBazaar, which was like a peer-to-peer decentralized marketplace for non-virtual goods using Bitcoin. And we did that for about 6 years, and it was a challenge. And then as we started to get to the point where we needed to raise more money, it became obvious after dozens of meetings with kind of more substantial investment companies, not just small risk-taking VCs, that model of having something that was like censorship resistant and anonymous and all this stuff, it was kind of a scary proposition for those investors, and it wasn't happening. And so, the team had been doing this for quite a while. We were running out of money, and then, it just made sense for us to kind of go and do different things. And so, during the process of kind of like unwinding the business and trying to figure out where we wanted to land, we had discussions with Kraken about potentially maybe joining, as a company. And it didn't work out, but we got to know the business. And I think what Kraken is doing and has been doing is just super fascinating. And I think the ethos of that business, along with ours previously, matched up really, really nicely. I'm really happy to be here.
That's amazing. Yeah. And I mean, Kraken is one of the first exchanges around, I think, like already operating since 2012 or something. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but definitely one of the real OG exchanges still around, really. So that's pretty cool. And then like, did more team members move over to Kraken from OpenBazaar?
Yeah, I mean, I will say there's more than me, but like it's we don't. I mean, the interesting thing about this business is like we really take our security and privacy like seriously, and so there's only very few people that are actually publicly facing at the business. So and I'm one of those. That is lucky enough to be able to talk about my work there. But we have a lot of really, really great people, hardworking people that don't even, aren't really able to talk about what they're doing. But for everybody's safety and security. So it's an interesting environment for sure.
Cool, amazing. So yeah, I wanted to use this episode to talk a little bit about crypto marketplaces with your background from OpenBazaar and exchange staking in general. so far we've seen the rise of marketplaces for crypto assets in general, like general trading like Kraken, and for non-fungible assets like Opensea and so on. What do you think will come next in terms of like what will be traded for, like what will be the next big marketplaces, like music, gig economy, or like what are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think obviously NFTs is a really hot topic right now, and most of that is centered around kind of like, you know, just virtual media, so animated GIFs and like 3D videos and things like that. I mean, and most of this is propagated by like OpenSea, you know, having such a large majority of the market share there, that what they do is kind of what people see as NFTs. But I think in the future, we're really going to start seeing a much more expansive role for NFTs to play. You know, the idea of a non-fungible token can represent many different things. And in fact, I think one of the most interesting pieces of where it could go is really tying it into real world assets. It's kind of the convergence of the digital and the real world. I mean, I spent like 6 to 7 years working on OpenBazaar trying to get people to use crypto to buy real world goods. And it seemed like people were kind of resistant to that. And digital goods have made sense a lot. But now there's potential for people to purchase digital goods, which are very frictionless, and then use them for like real world activities. So say if you're going to a sporting event, perhaps you buy an NFT for your favorite football team, but it also gets you access to a game or to some kind of special event, or it gets you some kind of perks, you know, somewhere else in that kind of sporting ecosystem. And I think that will be just growing and growing and growing over time. So the idea that just like collectibles and kind of like this like Beanie Baby perception that people have of NFTs will definitely expand. Music, sports. I mean, there's just so many different areas that this can go. And then on the kind of more, mundane side, some people might think, if you're into sports and music, is, you know, taking NFTs and, having them represent property, ownership, deeds, different areas like that. And then perhaps even fractionalizing them, which, you know, splitting them up into parts so that people can, turn these into like almost like securities. It just goes on and on and on, the potential there.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I think there's a lot of potential for NFTs, and it can go way beyond like just art in general. But as you say, like property and everything. But like on the other side, like, do you think there can still be like a marketplace that's focused on non-virtual assets, similar to like OpenBazaar back in the days, like a kind of decentralized Amazon? Is there still like just a blockchain-based marketplace for anything that's also non-virtual? Can we see that again? What do you think?
It's a tough question. I mean, certainly we've tackled some of the problems I think that early on we had. I mean, I remember in 2014 when we first were going to conferences and kind of shopping the idea around. I remember a very young Vitalik walking up to me and my co-founder with his dad, and asked the question. He said, "You're pricing all of your physical goods in a cryptocurrency that fluctuates in price. Like, what are you going to do there?" And just that simple question, which was very difficult early on, now can be solved with stable coins and all of these other, things that we have available at our fingertips that are just kind of like commonplace now. They're not like unique or novel at all. But we still haven't really gotten past the problem of like, people want to hold on to crypto and they only really relinquish it if there's an investment opportunity, right? Like a profit capturing opportunity. And when you're selling goods, it's not necessarily there. Like most people don't want to give up their Bitcoin or their Ether in order to buy a t-shirt because they feel like Bitcoin and Ether are going to be worth more tomorrow. And now that t-shirt is a $20,000 t-shirt. And NFTs are different because people are flipping NFTs and they're putting them back up on OpenSea. And so there's that profit opportunity. So I think when we get to a place where cryptocurrencies are actually being used as like real money, then this may be more viable. But for now, it still seems like there's some resistance there. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, there are like non-virtual things that can appreciate in value also, like classical art and everything, but I guess that can be represented by NFTs nowadays mostly as well.
I think that's the convergence that we spoke about earlier. It's like I think that those worlds will actually collide and create something more fascinating than just buying art online. I mean, this piece of art above me, bought, but it's like imagine it has a wallet in it, or it had some kind of extra perks for purchasing that, or the artist gets royalties. Maybe crypto graffiti gets like royalties because of my purchase and when I sell it subsequently. So I think there's a lot more interesting use cases that will come along for sure.
Yeah. And like with your role at Kraken, like do you at Kraken plan on offering any trading or exchanging of other items, like for example NFTs or like even non-virtual assets, like anything really, like music, NFTs, and so on? Can you imagine building that into Kraken?
I mean, obviously we don't have anything to announce officially today, but I mean, you can think that. I mean, people would have to be dumb to not be thinking about the potential here for different business. How your business could be involved with NFTs. I mean, we're seeing FTX and others dive into this head first, and we have a lot of strong thoughts about it. Jesse, our CEO, has already previously said in interviews that we're very serious about doing that, and we're interested in doing it. And we certainly have the capabilities to do it in house for sure. So I guess I would just say stay tuned.
Yeah. And I think like, I mean, you are like at a pretty huge advantage compared to everyone from traditional finance, like banks and so on, really, because you are already into this like digital world, which is evolving now with like NFTs and metaverse and so on. And there's going to be huge opportunities for you guys to position yourself in that even more, I guess. But like, who do you think are your competitor counterparts in the traditional economy and finance, and do you think they can keep up with you guys, or will they actually be competitors to you, or how do you see that?
Well, I mean, I think there are some clear differences between the traditional finance world and kind of what we're trying to do, and then you can even go further in decentralized finance. There's like a lot of differences, but purely what we're seeing in like the crypto market is that we have like much stronger like transparency and availability around what we offer. So like traditional markets close. I mean, that's just like already like a weird thing that is completely different about crypto markets. In fact, back in February, we put out like this this big report, and I can share the link with you guys. But this Kraken intelligence report that basically goes down exactly this. It like explains exactly why the crypto markets are so much further ahead of traditional finance markets and all of this. I mean, you could just go down a rabbit hole of like all the differences, right? Like, I mean, just in terms of settlement times and the ability to do trades at any given time during the day. And, and then also you got like a lot of the kind of shadiness around some of these businesses, like all of the controversy around Robinhood and them, selling front running access to, to other firms, but that's the way these businesses have to operate. I think in the crypto world, like it or not, we're actually like held to very tight scrutiny around regulatory issues and things like that, because we're just top of mind and there's just so much money and interest flowing into the marketplace. So I think there's a lot of like really great benefits to the crypto market. It's not without its risks, obviously. We hear about like weird stuff going on, but I think that's part of innovation and the evolution of a new industry, is that you're going to have things that succeed, some things that fail, people that take too far of a risk. But Kraken really prides itself on doing a lot of the due diligence necessary to bring products that we really feel like are trustworthy and secure. I mean, security is like our first, like it's of utmost importance to us as a business, and we don't sacrifice that for anything.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, if you have the same standards like banks and so on have in the traditional finance, and you bring that to the new economy of crypto, then that's definitely like a great advantage within the new economy, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, like covering all of this, or like with your position, like where do you see the role of Kraken or exchanges in general for the staking ecosystem, and why should people decide to stake with Kraken instead of their own wallet, for example? And what's your strategy there, and where do you think is your role as like a proof of stake validator of networks as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think early on, back when there wasn't really much of much proof that proof of stake could actually succeed, I think a lot of people debated the merits of even having a proof of stake system. I think that those days are long gone. I think it's been proven that this is like an industry that's here to stay, and it's growing significantly. I mean, just at our business alone, I mean, before I joined in 2020, we only had several assets, and they weren't really like that substantial amount of our business. But at this point, the last 18 months have just been like ridiculous, and we still haven't really onboarded that many assets. We added like ETH, Cardano, and then like the Polkadot Kusama, as well as Solana, and those have just been crushing it. I mean, I think we just crossed like $11 billion worth of staking assets under management, which is just an incredible amount of interest and business, and it's growing like hand over fist. So, and then also, I think right when I joined, which was late last year, we began the Ethereum 2 staking. And we are super happy that we are like the number one centralized staking holder for ETH, which is, it's incredible. We're really excited to be able to have that role. And I know that Lido and stuff is like starting to, pass us, but just to be out there in front and to show our support for that community. And we've done like some grants for the ETH community. We're really excited about the potential opportunities for Ethereum 2.0 and that proof of stake network. So yeah, it's a huge part of our business, and we take it very seriously. Yeah. Oh, and then
Yeah, that's great.
I know you asked about what like why people would stake on the platform. I didn't really answer that. My opinion is just that it's a combination of ease of use and security and trustworthiness. I mean, I think people are fine to say fire up Polkadot.js and do staking or do parachain auctions or whatever it is, but you have to understand it. You have to protect your keys. You have to like keep up with software updates. There's a lot of things that are really hard for users that the average person just won't even like touch it with a 10-foot pole, right? Like, and to come to Kraken where you're already investing or trading or holding and be able to do it right there, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's great. I think you've definitely been at the right time and place, launching your Ethereum solution there just in time. And it's been great. Big love for staking. I mean, like this is what we do for a living, and great to see you guys involved there as well. Like, do you also participate in governance or anything, or like do anything beyond just validating for the users, or like
I mean that's an interesting question because I think traditionally we've had so much going on that like our staking offering was actually rather kind of vanilla, and in terms of governance, building out an interface or a capability for people to be able to participate in governance through our validators and things is not something we had on our roadmap, but now like we're thinking hard about how we could do that. I mean, traditionally we just essentially the only participation in governance that we do is that we just like abstain from votes so that we're just like not interfering. If there's a situation where like they really need us to participate, that's something that we would like internally consider. And for the future, we'd love to be able to have like some kind of governance mechanism for people to participate. It's been asked for a lot, but obviously nothing firm to announce.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. So like you have like all the biggest proof of stake assets already, and how do you decide which assets or which tokens you list on Kraken in general, and like which ones do you support staking for as well? Like what are your criteria kind of, and how do you choose them? And do you have like a a research team, or what's the process like for a token project to get listed on Kraken, and also to get a staking offering on Kraken?
Yeah, I was actually really surprised when I joined. We just have a big hat and we reach in and we pick one out, and whatever that one is, that's the one we list. But no, but in seriousness, it's a pretty complex process, and we're trying to improve it. I don't know if people have noticed, but we're listing assets like quicker than we ever have before. And I think part of our strategy here is just that we want to be able to get as many worthwhile assets available to people as quickly as possible. Be there on day one if we can. But in terms of how we list, I mean, there's a bunch of criteria. But mostly we want to be able to create a situation where traders have enough liquidity and opportunity to create value for themselves. So, and then we look for interesting projects with teams that are doing things that we think are long lasting. I think it's tempting to go and rush out like Shiba Inu or some other coin that's like the meme of the day. But, and those are obviously considered along with any other tokens. We're not biased in that respect, but we look for things that have a lot of potential and promise for the future. We don't want our customers to be burned any more than anybody else wants to be burned, right? So we're always looking out for them. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, it's also an investment for you guys if you integrate something. If it performs well, then it's good for you, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Cool.
Sometimes we want to list things, but from an engineering perspective, they're very difficult to get out the door quickly, or perhaps there's legal challenges that we have to look at closely, or there's like a myriad of reasons why things may come out quicker than others. We get emails, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of emails every day for people like, why aren't you doing this? Why haven't you done that sooner or quicker? It's just we hear it, and it's all part of the process.
Yeah, of course. It's a matter of focus, and getting things right, and not just do everything, but rather, as you say, focus on security and ease of use. That's probably like the key thing to focus on. And yeah, like are you or like you launched the parachain auction offering on Kraken directly. Are you planning to offer any more staking or yield farming or general yield opportunities similar to this parachain thing, or anything outside of the classical staking?
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you what assets that we want to like reveal, but we're definitely going to have more staking assets. Yes, it's a very important part of our business. We're looking at doing that. So, like I said, stay tuned on that. As far as parachain auctions go, I mean, the cool thing about parachain auctions is that the auctions are one piece of it, but the rewards usually are like a parachain asset, which is a token itself that can be listed for trading. And then beyond that, some of those have built-in staking mechanisms. So we may even see, parachain asset staking providing, like there's a lot that is left to do. So it's a huge open field right now. And we're excited to do that. And also, like you said, around the governance and stuff, I mean, I think, we're interested in providing more expansive capabilities for people within the staking realm, not just just basic yield. So, and we have our brand new consumer mobile app, the Kraken app, which is like launched and has been like amazing. Over 1 million people using that already, and maybe someday we'll have like some kind of yield program there where people can participate, or we're thinking about different kinds of ways that people can take advantage of staking and value. So yeah, we're really excited about what the future holds for us.
That's exciting. Yeah, I think there are like thousands of opportunities for staking and crypto interest in general. And if you can just map some of them in Kraken, or like only the best ones or the most secure ones, that's already great. And it helps for adoption and getting people on board. And yeah, this is what we always talk about as well. Like crypto interest is probably the main driver for like mainstream adoption as well, because the interest rates are like just so much more attractive in the crypto world compared to the traditional world. And we're trying to map that at Staking Rewards. We're trying to map most of them and let users decide it by themselves. And you guys obviously take it one step further and also offer this directly and vet it like more for security and everything too. So I'm really looking forward what you guys come up with as well on that side. And yeah, so I think that's been it for most of the questions. How can people follow you or learn more about you or Kraken in general?
Well, obviously, they can go to kraken.com and find out everything that we're doing there. And the Kraken mobile app is a huge, awesome, good start. As far as learning more about what's coming out, you can follow at KrakenFX on Twitter. And if you want to follow me for whatever reason, I'm at Brian C. Hoffman for all the crypto shenanigans over there. But I'm usually retweeting all the stuff that we're working on and going on. So, yep, those are the best places to get us.
Cool, perfect. Thanks a lot for being on the show. And guys, make sure to check out our previous episodes of Staking Mondays. We had premier guests like Do Kwon and others on the show already. Make sure to like and subscribe the video. And as always, happy staking.